welcome back to the world of Aurorealis. So, if you guys see my first video, you already know what's going to happen here. If you haven't, go watch that video. It's an introduction to my story. Now, for this video, since we already went over the brief summary in the last one, we're going to be talking about character profile. So, I'm going to be introducing you guys to my 6 main characters. 8 if you include the 2 main villains, but we're gonna do a separate video for the villains. But yeah, so I'm so excited because usually when I write novels I don't tell people about them, so in case the story is like whack, I can't get embarrassed. But I really think this is gonna be good. I really think it's gonna be good. So anyways, okay, so we're gonna go and talk about these characters. So our main character's name is Imani. No last name yet. And she is from a very loving family. She's born of 2 parents who are world-renowned scientists. She has 2 younger siblings who are twins. And Imani, she is full of personality and youthful joy. Her character, she's an overachiever, just like her mom. She makes sure that she is good at everything that she tries, and if she's not, she keeps trying until she can be the best, as well in school and any type of physical activities or sport. Her parents want her to be a scientist just like them. Imani, she's 21. She's in her 3rd year of college, but she much rather switch her major to be an engineer because her and some of her friends that she met, whose majors are already in engineering, they want to, after college, create an adventure park. Her and her friends, they are all like extreme sport people. They're very active physically. They're all parkour enthusiasts, and that's why they want to build an adventure park. That's just like the extreme thing. There is this made-up show in this world. The show is called The Ultimate Ninja Warrior Supreme, where people, is similar to the American Ninja Warrior TV show, but it's just more based in like the way of the ninja. And her and her dad love this show. They've been watching it since she was little, and she's always wanted to be on it. But when they dropped the age to 16 from 18, she and her friends tried to help her sneak out of school to audition. She did get caught. Her parents were very disappointed in her. And, they kind of push this idea that she's going to be a scientist and not deal with this little silly dream, as they call it. Now, her parents are very supportive of her. They have allowed her in the past to do other activities that weren't academic, but they really are pushing this because of their backgrounds. And because of this dream she's had since she was young, of being like this ninja warrior person. She always loved stories about like fairies and folklore and myth and things, because she always loved the thrill of the adventure, the thrill of the chase, the adrenaline, all those things. So she has a childlike wonder that she's never lost, even into her early years in college. It's actually similar to me, actually. I was the same way in college. Like, they had like obstacle courses and stuff, like events on campus, and I always none of my friends participated, but I always participated and they always cheered me on. So yeah. I feel like a lot of writers do that, where they have the character similar to them, but she's not me. She's way more braver than me, way smarter than me. But yeah, that's Imani. Next character is Ranveer. He is a were-dragon. Now, in my novel, every creature that transforms into an animal, if they transform into one specific animal, it's considered a were-creature. So it's were-dragon, were-wolf, were-jaguar, whatever it is. But if they transform into multiple animals, then they are like a shapeshifter. I haven't thought of a specific name for them, like a subcategory, like where the were creature is a subcategory of shapeshifter. So I haven't thought of a name. So if you guys have any good names, what I can call the human creatures in this world, a nickname for shapeshifters that shapeshift into different animals. I think that's pretty cool thing to differentiate the character. Oh, and all of the were creatures, obviously dragons aren't real, but all of the were creatures, they basically transform into a giant size of the real animal. So like a wolf, not like from Teen Wolf where it's like animalistic monster type thing, like they actually transform into a real looking wolf or a real looking lion or tiger or jaguar or porcupine, whatever it is, but it's a giant size version of that animal. And Ronver, he is a were-dragon, nicknamed Dragon Boy by Imani, because she doesn't believe him when she ends up in Aurorealis. He's actually the first person she meets. He actually ended up in the forest where she ended up because he had an argument with his mom. He ran out to like kind of be with himself and his own thoughts. In this world, like I said, the were-dragons, well, dragons aren't real anyway, but they are very ginormous creatures. They breathe fire, of course. And he does have some other abilities. Well, he should have the other abilities like the other dragons. Now, they're in this world. Sometimes there are human creatures who either A, don't get any abilities at all. It's actually super rare. You can think of it as like an illness kind of a thing. Like they don't get any abilities. They're called noise. Basically, they just didn't inherit a void. And a void, if you didn't watch the other video, is basically describes kind of like their ethnicity in a way, which is basically just their human creature type, whether it's a fairy, pixie, mermaid, whatever it is. It describes their ability type and their kind of like ethnicity type, which is basically just the creature that they are. He's actually pretty insecure because he is, I think I said he's 23 in this book, and he has never been able to transform into a full dragon, which is actually very embarrassing because he's actually the prince of the Dragon Kingdom. I haven't thought of a name to call them because the story is more modernized a little bit. Still a fantasy world, but just like a little bit modernized. So there are no true kings and queens anymore like in the real world. It's kind of just like their family doesn't have necessary political power, but they're super wealthy, but they can influence, you know, this world's government and things like that. So there's no like they make the laws and everyone has to follow them. It's more like they're just super wealthy. They used to be kings and queens in the past, but now they just have like all this money. They own all these corporations. They own a lot of the world's like businesses, and they entwine with a lot of the other like creatures. They own other creatures' things. And this is basically why he's not very confident, because he can't transform fully into a dragon. There's actually reasons, no spoilers though. He only has the dragon claws, so he can, kind of like Wolverine, he can like, you know, bring out his claws, which are very sharp. They can, you know, someone's throat very easily. He has dragon fire, obviously. I haven't decided yet if he can breathe his dragon fire through his hands and feet, or if it's just like through his mouth. I haven't decided yet because he's supposed to be like kind of an in-between state of being a full void and a noi, so he only got like half of his abilities. And throughout the book, he actually does gain more of his dragon abilities. But that doesn't mean he's going to turn into a full dragon by the end of the book. Or will he?
He probably won't. Maybe. No, he will. Psych. Guess you just have to find out.
Throughout the story, Ronver, he has to like gain confidence. He lacks that, but he doesn't let people pretty much disrespect the crown. Although it doesn't mean the same as it did in the past. He doesn't allow people who try to insult him or bring him down, try to insult his family's name. His mother raised him very well. And basically in my story there are witches as well, and they're basically like the people who get beat up on the most in this society. They get blamed for literally everything that goes wrong in their universe. So basically whenever people like Ronver exist, they basically call it like the witch's curse, that the witches are cursing everybody. They're not, or are they? And basically, I forgot why I brought up the witches. There was a point connected to Ronver. I forgot the point. Okay, I'll probably remember remember it later on as I'm talking. But yeah, Ronveer. Oh, his name also means hero of the battle. I think it's kind of fitting to his character because he's basically going through this journey of feeling like. Oh, right. Now I remember why I brought up the witches. So basically, his dad's sickness is blamed on the witches. Like, the witches cursed the dragon family. They cursed the most prominent dragon family. Blah, 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 blah. You know, they get blamed for everything, like I said. And there's a reason for it. I won't spoil it, though. It's a big thing. It's a big, like... Anyway, so his mother pretty much rules everything. And Ronveer, he does whatever his mother says. Whatever she tells him to do, he tries to break free. Now, she's not like in a controlling, overbearing type of way. It's more like teaching him on how to step in to the role that he's going to eventually take over. Now, in the story, and specifically his family, again, the witches get blamed for everything. So the Dragon Kingdom, over the last couple centuries, there's been like weird birth rates, things with the birth going on. In his particular family, again, they look at it as a witch's curse. Basically, in his family, for the last couple of centuries, there's only been women born in his bloodline. So he's the first male born in his bloodline in centuries. So they look at it as like, oh, the witch's curse is broken. It's broken. You finally have a boy. But women have ruled for so long. They've had to like fight for the right to prove that women can rule. But now that they have a boy, now they can like say, hey, we have a boy now. Y'all can't fight us anymore. He has this big responsibility because only women have ruled in his family line, specifically his family, for centuries, and now he's the first boy in like forever. Oh, and he has a younger sister and then 2 twin brothers. The little sister, she has her dragon form already. The twins, they're still too young. I said that when the kids are around 5 years old, they get their dragon powers. So the twins, I think either they're about to turn 5 or they just turned 5. So it's any time during their fifth year of life, they get all the dragon powers. But the sister got her dragon powers a little bit early, so she's like a prodigy. Yeah. But yeah, so that's Ronveer. I'm so excited. Because he's such a sweet little boy. He's very proper and prim. And he doesn't get sometimes sarcastic jokes that are aimed at him sometimes right away. But yeah, I'm excited to write his character and watch him grow. The next character is Imogen. Sweet little Imogen. Adorable little Imogen. Now she... I forget about her sometimes. So, because she's so... sweet and kind and like perfect. She's that type of character. She always does the right thing. She has a great family. They're basically like hippies, but I'm not gonna call them that. I'm gonna call them something else. I haven't forgotten the name yet, but they're basically like hippies. Her family are like year-round activists. They fight for the rights of voids everywhere to make sure that they have equality and that they're all respected, because there's like infighting between different voids and things. Now Imogen, she's called a null. Nulls are basically a subcategory of human creatures, which is a subcategory of sigil creatures. So sigil creatures are human creatures that don't transform into something. So where a dragon, they are human, and they can transform into a dragon. There's like werewolf, but they can transform into a wolf. There's sylphs, they're human, they transform into sylphs. Dryads, they're human, but they transform into dryads. So on and so forth like that. So everyone's a human creature under that umbrella. Most of them, everyone transformed. There's only a few sigil creatures. Basically, they use these like glyphs, these like symbols. That's how that helps them increase their power and their abilities, and they also don't transform into anything. So they're called sigil-born creatures. Imogen, she's a null, which is like another category because her powers are a little different from all the other creatures. So they only have really one ability. They have other little things they can do. I'm still working on like their whole power system of the nose. But basically the nose, they can use their blood, just like a little cut anywhere they can get a cut on their body, and they use their blood. It pretty much comes out, and they can like control their blood. It hardens. It's like hard as a diamond even, and they can transform their blood into weapons or shields. And the shields are practically unbreakable. Now here's the catch. To have like a balance between nose and the other human creatures, because nose, they only have that one ability. Again, they have like little things that they can also do, but they basically just have that one ability, so they're practically almost completely human. The kicker here is that their blood is basically acid to all voids.
So basically, anytime a gnoll uses their blood to attack a void, their skin starts to burn. It doesn't immediately start melting right away, but the longer it's on there, the more damage it does to them. And they also start to lose power. Their abilities weaken greatly the longer that they're either surrounded by no blood, like if they were like in a building and their blood was splattered all over the place or something.
The gnolls are kind of like the overall ruling class, because of that. There's like a whole war that happened centuries ago. I'll do another video talking about that. But so they're kind of hated because people feel like they're oppressing all the voids, because the voids feel like they're the ones with all the power. How are you guys in power? But they're just like, hey, we're gonna burn y'all. But yeah, it's like a whole thing. But basically, again, there's no kings and queens. The gnolls do have a queen in this universe. The mother is like very respected because it's like, you know, the bringer of life, the mother of all creation. So they have kind of like a god type thing, that's all about like nurturing and preserving life and all that jazz. And basically they have a queen, and her name, what did I name her? Hold on, let me check. Amavi. I have to look up the pronunciation to make sure I'm saying it right. Apparently didn't write it down phonetically. But her name used to be Queen Jelani. But I have another character named Nalani, and I was like, I can't have two characters. The names are too similar. So her name is Amavi or Amavi. Again, I'm gonna look up the phonetic way to pronounce it to make sure I'm getting it correctly.
I looked it up while editing. It's Queen Amavi. Queen Amavi is her name.
Basically, yeah, that's their queen. But Imogen, anyway, I'm getting distracted. Imogen, very sweet girl. Her parents are activists. She travels with her parents in a van with her brother. They basically travel the world trying to promote unity. Like, you know, they're one of those people. They really believe that the gnolls and the voids can get along. They want everyone to be happy, and they're just like super proud, and they're just like wonderful, wonderful people. Or are they? No, stop. They are. You know, they're very vanilla. Oh, and yeah, that's Imogen. She's very sweet, very kind, loving. She's part of team main character. But, you know, they're kind of standoffish about her because she's like a gnoll, and it's just like, there's this thing about gnolls where everyone else thinks that the gnolls are pretentious, that they're stuck up, that they think that they're automatically are better than everyone, something like that. And now, because the gnolls don't have like multiple different types of abilities, you know, they can't control like 10 different million, like they don't have like 10 different types of abilities. They are the most technologically advanced void in this universe. Because they don't have abilities to like, there's only so much they can do with blood. You know, they're not gonna build machines out of blood. That's just, that's not gonna work. And that's probably unsanitary. So they're the most technologically advanced because they don't rely on their voids, their abilities to like help them do things and grow in society. So they're the most advanced. And the next character is Nabi, little old innocent Nabi, dark and gloomy Nabi, you know, gothic Nabi. So Nabi is a character. She's a witch. So I already said what witches are seen as in society earlier. She's very shy, keeps to herself, doesn't really have any friends for obvious reasons. The witches in this universe, they keep a gothic aesthetic, but not like just all black, just with like pops of color. Now in this society, because all of the human creatures, they have their own like looks. They're human, but they have maybe like certain tattoos or things that are just naturally born, or certain things on their body that could differentiate them. Either they put it on their body as just a cultural thing, or maybe they're born with something. I haven't decided on like the overall look, if they just look completely human and they just keep like clothing, hair accessory aesthetic, or if they just, or their bodies just have something on them, like maybe the Fae creatures got like leaves come out of them or something. I haven't decided yet, but in the witches, they pretty much, they look like everybody else. The witches, they kind of imitate in looks. They imitate the other voids. Like none of the witches look like they're from the same place. They just imitate the voids. Now, the thing that the people say that the witches do that, when they're born, they naturally imitate the other voids to kind of blend in. Like it's like basically like they allege, this is all alleged from the other people in this universe. They say that the witches do it so they can kind of be sneaky and vindictive and like be covert. So it's like this thing that the witches are always trying to do something evil. They're just like everybody else in reality, but that's just what's on in this world. There's a reason for that. Well, is there a reason to bully? No. But there's like basically stuff that happened in like this great war many centuries ago, and it's just been this like this constant hatred of these people, and like not forgiving. And although no one really, obviously because it happened so long ago, no one has like all the complete details, so people kind of make up stuff all as time goes on. But our little Nabi, like I said, she's a witch character. Again, she's very kind, very sweet. When you want to actually get to know her, you see that she's actually pretty nice. She's just, shy. Like, she understands what the world sees her. Oh, and here's like, I guess it's a spoiler, but should I say it? Okay, I'm gonna say it. Basically, she is, I'm not gonna like hide it from the story from like super long. Once she's introduced, it's gonna be revealed very quickly anyway, so I guess it's not like a super crazy spoiler.
Actually, since editing, I've changed my mind on when I'm gonna reveal this big like secret, so I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys. You just have to read my book once I'm done writing it.
She understands her position in the world. She doesn't try to make waves. She doesn't try to get people to like her. She barely defends herself. She does sometimes, but she barely does. She kind of just doesn't want to be seen, doesn't want to be around people. I might change this later on. But Nabi, I think I'm making her 20 in this series. She's like at a college type institute type of thing, but she is, now the story doesn't take place in college. I was originally gonna do that, like it's like a more modernized world, and the characters are all like college age. I was just like, you know what, I'm not doing that. I scrapped that story like within like a week of me thinking of it. But basically Nabi, she's specifically in like college in this universe, and she's going to a school where she won a scholarship mysteriously. And she basically is at the school that is kind of like, think of it kind of like a Zootopia, like part of this world where it's like this city, and it's basically to integrate all of the voids together because they all have their own like kingdoms. Like think of it as like continents, and within their continent they have these smaller groups that are similar to them. Like there is like the continent of like the Fae creatures, and then there are sylphs, pixies, fairies, dryads, all of the fey creatures, and they're all like their own little country. So kind of think of it kind of like that, and then so on and so forth for all the other ones. But the witches, they are considered not a true void because they don't have their like own place of where they originated. So they kind of just like are all over the place. So no one truly knows like where they actually came from. So they don't really have like a home continent type thing, country or place. They're just everywhere. So you can think of them like unknown refugees, like where they originally came from. No one knows. But yeah, so she's at this school where it's like this city and it's supposed to like be like the first city in the world that's like accepts all creatures as one unit. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about Nabi for now. Like I said, she comes in a little bit later. Like she's not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna join this ragtag team of heroes and like, you know, try to save the world. Like, she's not gonna do that. So, but they need her for something specific. The character I'm about to introduce, Ayiti, she knows someone who can help with a certain thing, and then there's, you know, she's the only witch that she knows because, you know, everyone tried to stay away from the witches. But anyway, so, yeah, Nabi, very sweet, kind, loving. Her power, she doesn't know how powerful she is, because her power is based on her emotion. Because she lacks self-confidence based on how the world treats her, she doesn't know how powerful she truly can be, but she'll learn. And the next character is Ayiti. Ah! Yo! I love Ayiti. Like, she is definitely everything girl power. Like, she embodies all of it. Ayiti is confident. She knows her worth. She's strong-minded. She excels at everything that she does. You can think of, and she's born into wealth. She is a voodoo priestess. Voodoo saints. There's hoodoo. They're called lots of different names, so she's all of those names. She has a little sister. She can be a little bit of a mean girl. A little bit of a mean girl. But she's not like the stereotypical mean girl antagonist character. She actually, when no one is looking, she's like, she can be kind. Like, it's just the way I'm gonna write her, you'll see. Like, she's not evil. She's not like just a mean, nasty girl. She just, the reason why she comes off as mean sometimes, again, because she has to be excellent. Her entire thing is that I must excel at everything that I do at all times. She is not in a position where she can fail at anything. So in this world, there's like, you know, everyone hates the witches, but there's also infighting between the other void. No one's constantly at wars all the time. It's more civilized today. So there's not constantly wars anymore. Most of the world is pretty organized. They have their own governments and systems and things like that. In this world, like I said earlier, there's human creatures. So they're transforming creatures. Most of the world is full up of transforming creatures. And there's only, in my universe, I think right now I have 5 sigil creatures. I'm not sure if I'll add more. In this universe, so there aren't that many sigil creatures. So they are, in a way, kind of, but not really anymore, looked down upon in a way because, like, they're different because they don't transform. So it's like, so there's this back and forth between the transforming creatures and the non-transforming ones where it's like, the transforming one, you know, it's like odd that you, so it's like you don't become stronger, you don't become something. And then for the sigil creatures, it's like, oh, we don't have to become anything. We're already that powerful. So it's like this weird back and forth thing that they have. So that's why she has this like, thing about her where it's like, I must succeed at all costs. I do not have the liberty to fail ever. And you know, she kind of has this like background romance with this alchemist boy. She's like, you know, got this little romance with this alchemist boy, you know, which is forbidden. It's actually forbidden for reasons I won't say right now. because that would be a spoiler. In this universe, none of the voids, it's against the rules to have children with other voids that aren't like you. You have to be of the same void, basically. I haven't decided if it's allowed. Actually, no, no, it's not. So even if you're of the same family void, so like the were creatures, it's not allowed. You know what? Should be allowed. I didn't think of that until just this now. You know, I'll figure it out. But yeah, that's Aiti. Oh my gosh, like she is. Guys, I'm just telling you, like she. Oh, she's also like she's a very serious character as well. So she doesn't take from anybody. Especially Tiago, which is the last main character. Like they have this back and forth of like, it's so funny the way I'm writing it. Like it's just so hilarious. But yeah, she doesn't take it from nobody. She's a very serious character. You know, throughout the book, you know, she'll lighten up a little bit, you know, character growth and whatnot. But yeah, like very like headstrong, like I must excel, I must succeed type of gal.
Another thing I forgot to mention is how sarcastically funny Aiti is. The way things I've been writing about her, especially her conversations between her and the last character I'm about to introduce, Tiago, is she's absolutely brutal, but in the most funniest way as possible. I also wrote this post on in a few of my Facebook writers groups for like, you know, more support. You ask people questions, things like that. And I got in so many responses from people about similar character types in their books. And it's just so hilarious because the things she said, I'm just like, who wrote this? It couldn't have been me. There's no way I wrote this because this is hilarious. The things she says sometimes, it's so laugh. It's crazy. She's funny. Anyways, yeah, let's get back to the video.
I recently just started writing down like her like power system, and I'm just like, yo, she's about to be a badass. She's about to be a badass. Like I have because I didn't write down her powers at all. I've been writing this story since last month. So it's been this month. Like this is the beginning of month 2. So I'm just like, now I finally got to her powers. I'm just like, yo, she's gonna be crazy. Anyway, the last character, Tiago. Oh my gosh, Tiago. Who isn't Tiago? Tiago's a mess, okay? He is the character. I don't know if you guys seen. So okay, let me just explain. Before I compare him to like another like show or something or a book. Tiago is a human shapeshifter. So there's 3 types of shifters in my book. First time you read Ronvier the were dragon. So they are creatures that turn into a ginormous size of an animal. And then there's the animal shapeshifters. So they transform into real life versions of all types of animals. So the third type is a human shapeshifter. So they can only transform into other humans. Now between all the shifters, the were creatures are looked at as the most noble of the were creatures. They're like in the hierarchy of society, they're the highest. Animal shapeshifters are the next one, and then lower on the totem pole is the human shapeshifters. Within the shapeshifting community and a lot of voids, they're actually looked at as untrustworthy, disloyal, snakes, charlatans, troublemakers. The reason is because they can be anyone for any reason. They could, if they wanted to, possibly start drama politically, families, and they can become someone and commit a crime. Like they could. So things like they could do these things. Now, is everyone good? Everyone bad? Like there are bad and good people in all the voids individually. They take the few bad people and they kind of just like paste it on everyone in the group, and it's like, yo, we're not even the same person. Like, come on, literally, we're literally not the same person. So basically, he's had a hard childhood. I'm not gonna reveal too much of his backstory because I want you guys to like understand him as I write the story. But he has a rough childhood, but he's crafty. Okay, unfortunately, the rumors are true. He is actually a thief. He is disloyal. He is untrustworthy. It's just a coincidence. It's a coincidence that he just happened to be the stereotype. It's a coincidence. Now, he's not evil. He's not a bad person. He is just a person who got dealt cards in life that he should have never been dealt. He should have been given a chance to prove himself. And his mentality is basically, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy type thing. It's like, oh, since you're telling me who I am and you're not giving me a chance to be anything, I might as well be the thing that you claim that I am. I might as well just pretty much play the game that you're setting me up for, basically. So that's his mentality. Yeah, he is a sly little fox. Well, human. He shapeshift. He does cause trouble. Again, he's not evil. He's not necessarily a bad person. Oh, he's a snake as well. He will betray you. He would sell you for a nickel if he knew secretly that nickel he was going to get was made out of gold. Like, he would betray. He will betray you. He would do anything to get money. Like, he is not trustworthy at all. But again, he's not evil. He is also charming. He's like that character. So, yeah, he is like, he's very charismatic. He's very lovable. Also, the human shapeshifters, in addition to them shapeshifting to other people, whenever they touch, just a little finger, little touch. When he touches another void, he actually gains their powers. And wherever and how strong that void is, he actually matches that exact level of power. Like, so if he touches a void and they're weak, then he can use their powers for an undetermined amount of time. There's no set time that the ability lasts for. It depends on the human shapeshifter, how long they can retain that ability. So kind of like Rogue and X-Men, that ability, but they can also shapeshift into that person as well. Yeah, like, have you ever seen that show, The 100, or The 100, whatever you want to call it? That character, Kyle Murphy. What was his name? Murphy, that kid, that guy, Murphy from The 100. He's basically that character, just not as much of a snake as that character. I think he's a little more of a snake than the way I'm writing Tiago. But he's like similar to that character. Tiago's also a little flirt. He's not a pig. I don't think I could write a male character that's just like the stereotypical misogynistic, chauvinist. I don't think I can write a character like that. I would just be annoyed. Like, I would hate that. I would literally sabotage them. I would not give them any character development. I would just, I hate this character. I hate him. But no, he's a little bit of a flirt, but he's not like a pig about it. He's only 20 years old. He uses it as because he knows he's charming, especially when he becomes someone else. So he obviously has this like identity crisis because he knows when he becomes other voids, he's perceived as more likable because the person doesn't know that he's not a human shapeshifter. They think he's this other void because all you have to do is touch that void, become that person, then he can just pretend that he's that person. So there's a little bit of identity crisis there, but that's a whole thing. You guys can kind of imagine what the arc is gonna be. But yeah, like I think I might have said it earlier, but he has like this thing with Aidi, not a romance, but he has this like I was just so hilarious. I can't wait to write this book and show you guys. It's just so funny. I don't know how I come up with this stuff. He has this thing with Aiti, where because she's like the serious one, where he'll be sarcastic. Like, she's just not with it. So she'll like attack him. He'll just be like, yo, what you doing? Or he'll like flirt with her. And then she'll just basically just destroy him. Mentally and emotionally, she'll just eviscerate him. It's just so, because she's not with it. She's not with it. She does not care. It's just so funny. I have this back and forth. Where he keeps trying her and he's not getting it. Like, he's just not getting it. Like, leave her alone. She's not here playing these games. And he pretty much annoys everyone in the book. Like Imani, the main character, she's kind of just like whatever. Like she's that type of person where she's just like, you know what, I want to give him a chance. Like he seems like he has something there, like something deep inside. Let me see. Imogen, the no girl, the super like perky one. She doesn't understand all his jokes because she takes everything literally. So she doesn't understand like when he like she's just so funny. When Tiago's like messing with her, she's just like, huh? She doesn't get it. He because Ranveer is raised to in like polite high society, royal society. He doesn't at first understands all of the insults. Like he insults Ranveer all the time because Ranveer just is like oblivious because he's like the prince. So he'll like be sarcastic and say something like about his powers and you know how great something was, but he's really being sarcastic and mean. But Ranveer doesn't get it. He's just like, oh, thank you, good sir. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to show you guys. Oh, it's gonna be so funny. Yeah, I think that is all the main characters, team main characters. There's 6 of them. Woo, I know that's a lot. I originally was thinking, oh, it's like 3 or 4 characters, because that's usually how it is, 3 characters. Like usually 3, sometimes 4 is like most books, you know, it's like the trio. But that was like, you know, but I didn't do it that way. I just thought, oh, I'm gonna write a trio, like Imani, then, you know, her either 2 guys or another girl and a guy, you know, whoever's gonna be. But then I wasn't thinking that way, like, oh, I need to write a trio. I was just writing characters, and as I kept adding more characters, I was like, nah, this character has to be part of team main character because they're going to be useful, and it just, yeah. I'm excited! So this is my character profiles. I am so excited to, like, write this story. Right now, I technically haven't written any of the actual dialogue, but I have written summaries of, like, things that are happening, so, like, this is chapter 1. This is everything that's happening. Like, all of the key points. This is chapter 2. Like, I'm writing all of that. Or, like, this scene is going to happen after this scene. Make sure, I'm writing notes like, oh, make sure that this character has this emotional thing that happens before they get to this other thing. Like, I'm writing all that stuff because I want to avoid plot holes as much as possible. So I know it's happens a lot in fantasy, especially because it's completely made up. But yeah, so I'm very excited. Oh my gosh, guys. Like, just talking about it just making me more excited. Okay, so that's the end of this video. I think the next video I'll probably do the bad guys. Although I haven't finished writing all of the main background. I have 3. Previous video I mentioned 2 characters, Nalani and Kosumi. Oh, Kosumi. Ugh, my God. Oh, Nalani. Okay, before I go, Nalani and Ayiti. Oh my God! I actually thought of this morning. I was early this morning writing like their interactions because Nalani is part of like Team Bad Guy. And I'm just like so funny because they freaking hate each other, but they're both bad bitches. Like they're both bad bitches, and they're both badass. They're both don't take from nobody. It's just so I'm really just writing this morning, just writing like a few random like scenarios, like to help get my juices flowing. So I just think of like a random scenario, and then if I can feel like it makes sense at some point in the book, I'll keep it. I feel like, okay, this is just a funny thing in my head, I'll get rid of it. But just like I was just writing a bunch of different scenarios this morning. I was just like, yo, this is so hilarious. Like they just have this back and forth of like completely verbally being snarky, sarcastic, and like vicious towards each other. Basically, it's because game recognizes game. That's basically what it is. Like they both realize that they bad bitches. They boss babes. They both like recognizes each other's power. So Nalani is basically the powerhouse of the bad guys. Ayiti, she's a natural talent, a natural powerhouse, but like this really challenges her because her mother does put a lot of pressure on her to represent the family and to make sure that she does good in the world, to make sure that no one has any excuses to doubt her or the family. Like, again, they're like a wealthy family in this universe, but they still get judged because also occasionally, sometimes voodoo priests and priestesses, they get mistaken for witches sometimes, and that's like offensive to them. So they have to prove that they're basically not witches, that they're different from them. They're two separate things. They're nothing alike, and they don't want to associate with witches at all. So it's like a whole thing. But anyway, that's the end of this video. I am so excited! Yeah, I think I'm gonna do Team Bad Guy next. I only have 3 bad guy characters so far. Nalani, Kosumi, their father. This other character, I don't have a name for her yet, but she's basically like that character who's like always trying to prove that she's better than like the main bad guy character. That's basically her type of character art. So yeah. Alright, well that's the end of the video. Ta-da!
This video is sponsored by Shantae's Travel Things, the only website where you can get everything you need for your next upcoming trip. Whether it's backpacks, duffel bags, neck pillows, sleep masks, fanny packs, passport wallets, everything you need, get it at shantaestravelthings.com. The one-stop shop for everything outdoor and travel.